How are we feeling?
Was it a picture? Oh,
One of the very meditative things that I've learned over the past like week and a half-ish of doing this is actually the early mornings coming in, doing the machine check and doing your first case setup. It feels like a pilot kind of doing all his checklists before takeoff, or like a director getting his set ready. This is before any of the cases are open, before any patient charts are open, before any meds are drawn up. It's nice. So just go through my machine check, monitors. Suction's working. In between cases, we go to our little hallway, which is the hangout spot. This is where all the residents just chill in between or when they're on breaks. It's kind of fun. It's like a little frat hall. I have extra IV kits, so I'm gonna ask if anyone needs any.
What's this guy up to? Is this your morning break?
No, I'm just in between cases.
Between cases you started?
Yeah. Dude, I'm done with one, bro. I'm done with one.
We're on reverse cycles.
Landon, how we doing?
Good.
Sebastian's first case was going to be 3 p.m. and then now they give him an add-on.
That's true. I feel like it could be good or bad, just depending on them, huh? Yeah.
All the way down.
Yeah. That's fair. That boy. Sebastian, I set that up. After
I want to wait while you wait.
this morning.
He was like, might as well. There we go. Just a mini pump in between cases. Are you in
Even one.
Come more with me.
Huh?
More than next bro, especially.
Five cases back to back to back to back, all done before noon. Efficiency.
What is it? Day 7?
Day 7.
Day 8? It's good.
Yeah. Every day from like 2 to 3 we have lectures, so we're released from cases, and we may or may not go back depending on if the cases are wrapped up or.
Usually you do if you are busy, but most people wrap up their cases by now.
Yeah. So 2 to 3 every single day we have lectures on all the various topics.
Time to go home and read up and study. Usually you know your cases by this time, so
Start pre-opping the next patients.
Yes.
So.
We've
got into the habit of doing is just discussing the cases.
Like everything in life, it's all about reps. Even though for some of my cases, I probably don't have to come in so early, I still have been coming in at like 5:45, at the very latest 6. Because even if it's a easy case setup, I'm working on speed every single time and efficiency on how I can get through my MS-MAID's checklist faster. Because among a lot of things when starting anesthesia residency, it's the fine motor skills that I want to knock out in this first month of making IV kits, spiking IV bags, drawing up meds, where if I can get those on autopilot, then I can focus on learning the actual medicine and anesthesia part of the job and the details of what an anesthetic plan is, which we'll talk about later in the video. But also, whoever said that like you just get to sit around all the time in the ORs on the anesthesia side, that's so far from the truth. Invest in comfy shoes, because I was on my feet nonstop prepping for the next cases, especially in rooms that have high turnovers. Like, again, we had 5 cases all before noon. So you're always preparing for the next thing moving forward. All things workflow-wise that you just got to get used to. It is so demoralizing for someone who could run like sub 5:30 miles back in the day, struggling to break 9:30 on a mile now. Everyone's got to start somewhere, and it feels like I'm starting all over, fitness-wise. Sorry I'm not some influencer running marathons. Intern here did a number on me. I think one of the biggest transitions to anesthesia residency is the whole workflow. In medical school, you kind of get used to the whole, like, you show up, you get sign out from the night team, you round on your patients, you come up with a plan, and then you place orders or whatnot. Anesthesia is like very, very different. You get there from anywhere from like 5:45 to like 6 or 6:10, depending on how intensive the first case setup is, or when your first case start is. Some start at like 7:30 or 8, some start at like 7:15. And also some surgeons want you to be there exactly on the dot in the room ready to go at like 7:15. Just knowing your personnel and knowing what you're getting yourself into sets you up for a successful morning. And part of that setup is your preparation the night before, something that I didn't really learn until I started on the anesthesia side. Let me tell you what I mean. I think a lot of people misunderstand when you see the anesthesia residents getting relieved at like 4 or 5 p.m. that like, oh, we just don't do anything after that. Because something that's not accounted in our work hours is the pre-opping that we have to do every single night. So for example, right now, I am looking at the cases tomorrow. I have 5 cases, they're all gyne. But for each of those 5 patients, I have to go on my laptop here, go into their charts, look up their past medical history, their anesthesia or surgical history, any pertinent allergies, medications, difficult airway history, all their recent labs or imaging, particularly any pertinent to the cardiovascular system, so any recent EKGs or echoes, or say for some of the more intense cases like a big cardiac case or vascular case that you know could be pretty bloody. You want to see how their hemoglobin is the night before, or different lab values like their glucose. If they're an uncontrolled diabetic, do I have to know, hey, am I going to have to manage this insulin throughout the case? All these things are part of the preparation that you don't do in the hospital, you do at home. And then after you do all the chart review, I write down all my anesthetic plans in this little notebook, as well as the patient's pertinent history and everything, so that I can properly sign out to the PACU nurses. But before all of that, I would call right now my senior resident or my attending to go over the anesthetic plan for those cases. That all happens when you go home. So sure, on paper, we do go home at like 4 or 5 p.m., but there's another hour and a half or so of preparation and talking with your attending that happens the night before your cases. Something I don't think any of us are really told or used to coming into residency from medical school. How are we feeling?
Good. Tired.
How are we feeling?
Same protocol.
How we doing first week?
What?
How we doing first week?
Good. Good. Where's the bite block?
Oh, my blog?
Here we go.
Hey, the patented Dr. Medulla bite block right here.
No. Let's
No.
We're just carrying on like this.
Oh, God. What's the mechanism of action for lidocaine?
Sodium channel blocker.
Benzocaine.
Sodium channel blocker.
Cocaine?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I am on my way out.
Oh, really? I'm just trying to be like me when I grow up.
Oh
my gosh.
Future pediatric anesthesiologist. And then also I just want to have the chill gene. Bye, Kevin. What's up? And I will say what we call staffing or presenting to our attendings is for the most part similar to kind of an internal medicine one, but a lot more concise to anesthesia and what we're getting ourselves into in the OR, except your plan is the anesthetic plan, which, since I have my notebook here, I can kind of go through. Your initial impression is your ASA score, then you talk about your airway plan. So for this patient, my plan would be general anesthesia, 7-0 ET tube with an oral ray going direct laryngoscopy based off of their difficult airway kind of risk assessment. I feel confident in my direct laryngoscopy skills, so I feel like I can do this. For my monitors, I would do like an ASA standard monitors plus a BIS monitor, and I'll tell you why in a second. For my lines, I'm okay with just 2 peripheral IVs. For my pre-medication, maybe do Versed in the pre-op area if they're anxious, or pre-op Tylenol if it's gonna be a particularly painful procedure. Then I would tell them, okay, there's no cardiovascular risk factors, so we'll do a classic propofol induction, fentanyl, lidocaine, propofol, and rocuronium as your paralytic. Then for maintenance, this is a person that has risk factors for post-op nausea and vomiting, so I would want to do TIVA or total intravenous anesthetic. And because we're doing IV anesthetic, we want a BIS monitor, which kind of gives us an objective idea of sedation level. I don't want to like bore you guys with all the details of it, but if you're interested, I can talk about it in a later video. Then I'd suggest like intra-op pain management. For this one, I would go with Dilaudid intra-op to give them kind of an analgesic tail when they're coming off because it's kind of a shorter procedure. Then for nausea vomiting, this person does have post-op nausea vomiting history, so we would want Decadron and Zofran as well as potentially another agent on the back end to help prevent it as much as possible. And then for special considerations, this is an ENT procedure, so we want to keep the FiO2 and flows less than 30% to prevent airway fires. And that's kind of what I would tell my attending or senior resident. Then we talk about, hey, you know, I like this idea, or maybe we should go with this instead. And that, again, all happens the night before we walk into the ORs. We're not coming up with that plan when we get there. Your plan is only as good as your preparation. And that basically is anesthesia in a nutshell. And to be quite honest, that preparation takes forever when you're not used to it, just like looking through the charts and coming up with something. But even throughout this first week or so, I have learned where to look in the chart to be more efficient and fast. And when you are quick, it allows you to have more time to have fun with the newfound freedom I have in the anesthesia years. Like, there's a Vietnamese night market in Connecticut with a lot of good Asian food, cash only, so you know it slaps. Me and Sebastian are gonna go, so come along for a little study break. This man
Got that merch on. I'm a big coffee guy today.
oh my god, going to a Viet festival, rocking up.
New England Coffee Supply, baby.
You made 3 to
Not
4 inches
sponsored,
taller
not
than
sponsored.
I mean 3 to 4 inches taller than everybody there.
We're gonna see, we're gonna see.
Yo, Connecticut go like this?
We out here. About to get me some new coffee.
Win but not win coffee.
It's a win-win situation.
Don't worry, we cleaned up already. You can dance barefoot right here, no problem.
Of the state, Stephanie Thomas. I'm just out here. I love this market. I've heard about it, but this is my first time coming. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
What is going on?
Baby. Oh my god. This is so much.
Banh mi.
These are the sounds of my people.
Super steamed.
Wai Chao in the middle of summer. Oh, Ben Sale. How we liking it?
Oh, dang.
Nice.
Hot. Damn.
Yeah. Here you go. Are you 5?
They're fun though.
How was the review of the Viet night market?
A1. I'm biased though because I love night markets, but A1. We got that karaoke going on. We got that dank Viet food. It's a vibe.
Dude, there were so many people out there. Everybody ran out of food.
That's
So,
how dank the food was.
it was
We were in
good.
line for the banh mi, man. We were like 5 people away.
5 away. They ran
Guy turns
out.
around, they're out. I was like,
Dude, Viet food really does go that hard.
fire. You feel so fresh after eating it. Like I'm full, but I don't feel like disgusting or greasy because it's all so loaded with like veggies.
Yeah,
and
there's so many herbs and veggies that you eat along with it. So
it's basically a salad.
yeah, that's how we rationalize it.